Hey, what's up everyone, Andy here from Krusty Plug, and thank you very much for joining me for today's video. Today's video is going to be linked to episode 40 and 42, and if you have not seen these two episodes, please go and check them out. And basically in these two previous episodes, 40 and 42, I was covering some insane pickups from about 2 or even like 3 weeks ago now, and ultimately there was so much stuff that week I picked up, so I couldn't squeeze everything in one video, so I had to start breaking it down and making separate videos. And ultimately I still had some stuff left over from that week to share with you, and here we are today. I'm basically doing my final video to cover that particular week, you know, so it's been insane. I need 3 videos to kind of show you all pickups, so just shows you kind of the magnitude of it all and how many, you know, how much stuff I've been picking up, so it's been absolutely crazy. But before I show you everything I picked up that particular day, I want to just quickly recap and tell you a little story and kind of explain what really happened there. So it was an early hours of 21st of October, so I was kind of going to my bed really late, so it was past midnight, so it was 21st of October already. I ended up on Gumtree, quickly checking Gumtree up to see what was going on, and I spotted somebody was selling a pile of PlayStation 2 games. I cannot remember the original count, but I reached out to seller and asked, you know, if there's some sort of like a deal they can do. I think they were advertising £1 per game, yeah, so the original advert said they were asking £1 per game. So I reached out and the seller came back, and I'm just checking my conversation here on my phone, and they came back and said they still had 65 games left. They apparently had sold a bunch, and they said, you know, they will do it £50 for 65, so I think it works out about 75 pence per game. So that wasn't bad deal per se, but I obviously needed to kind of see the stuff close up, inspect it, see what's there, because I always being dubious that, you know, people sometimes advertise stuff a certain way, and what's good for them is not necessarily good for me, and so on. So the conditions sometimes doesn't match, you know, there's some manuals missing, this is being scratched, you know, so yeah, you always, as you know yourself, you need to check that stuff. So anyway, the conversation went on a little bit that night or early morning, and they also were selling some small quantities of PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 games. And the seller came back to me and said if I wanted these other games, they were, I think, selling them 30 games in total, and they were advertised, I think, originally about £3 a pop or something like that, or £2. And they came back and said if you take all of them, they will do it for £40. Sorry, £40. So anyway, I left it at that, and then next day I hit them up and I said, you know, I was working next day actually, and I said after work I could pop round. That was after 5 o'clock. I reached out to seller and they said, yeah, okay, you can come round and have a look. So now let's have a look actually what I picked up all in total. And I kind of do a little commentary there as well, and tell you the price wise what I paid and what basically happened. And so keep in mind that the original price for PlayStation 2 bundle was originally original asking price, the deal was £50 for the PlayStation 2 bundle, but of course I'm going to tell you what happened. Okay, I'm going to film this on my phone because that's going to be a bit easier. So here we go. This is the all the loot I managed to get from that Gumtree trade. So we got PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, there's a couple PlayStation 4, there's a few PS1 games, Xbox 360 games, Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games, and also a few Xbox OG titles. So yeah, I don't really know what happened there that day, and how I ended up paying the price I paid. But let me just kind of explain everything in detail what happened there. So ultimately the initial kind of bait for this trade was these PlayStation 2 games, which I kind of mentioned already. So there transpired some are actually empty cases, so these ones on top here, so 5 cases, these ones are empty, so there's discs missing. There's a couple loose copies as well, so I'm going to show you in a second. But so this was the kind of the main trade bait, so to speak. And complete games, I counted them, it was like 50 9 games, I think it was altogether. Yeah, 59. So when I arrived, I noticed, which I didn't know anything about, that it was there. So the guy had some PlayStation 1 stuff, a few PlayStation 4 games, and also some Xbox One titles piled up, and also a couple Xbox OG titles. So these weren't really advertised, so I knew kind of about PlayStation 2, I knew about PlayStation 3 stuff, and I also knew about Xbox 360 stuff. So that was the stuff I was aware that is going to be there. So now I picked through the PlayStation 2 pile, and the usual stuff, some manuals missing, some discs scratched, maybe even beyond repair. Not many, but a few, and then there's some usual light scratches, medium scratches, stuff like that. So it was kind of like 50-50 gamble basically, but I said I would be interested in all, but ultimately it is what it is. And I actually checked all individually to make sure all the discs were there. When I picked up any shortcomings, I was showing them to Guy as I was going through. And right enough, he was actually quite good. He was quite apologetic, and I felt maybe a little bit guilty that the stuff wasn't 100%, but I wasn't losing really my sleep over it, or was not going to lose my sleep over it. So I was cool. So anyway, before I picked up the PlayStation 2 stuff, I actually switched over to Xbox One stuff, because I noticed quite a few games there already. So for example, Spyro, Reignited Trilogy, Dying Light, there's like Turtles game as well, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Kingdom Hearts 3, Deadpool. So yeah, there was some decent titles in there. So I asked him, what he wants for the Xbox One stuff, and he said it was £3 per title. So I picked up through all of them and checked they're all good. And then I said, yeah, all are good for £3 for me, apart from the 3 titles. And it was like, I think like Call of Duty, World War II, Doom, and also Battlefront. And I said, well, these are kind of not really worth £3 for me. And I said, well, if you can do me some, deal on all of them, then I'll happy to take all of them. And also actually transpired he had 2 empties. So he had Call of Duty Black Ops 3 and Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. These are empty cases, but he kind of threw them in anyway. So I picked up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 11 Xbox One games. So technically he was asking £33 originally, £3 a title, but he counted them up, and before I knew, he was offering them at £18. So I was like, okay. And yeah, I jumped on them at £18, so picked them up, or said, yeah, I'll take them at 18. So then we moved on to kind of like PlayStation 1 stuff, and there was Final Fantasy 9, which actually missing manual, but nonetheless I picked it up. Medal of Honor, it's actually my original game is missing, but instead there is a manual and disc for Spyro Year of the Dragon inside, so I was happy to pick that one up as well as a spare. Then 2 copies of Harry Potter, one is complete, one is missing manual, and also a PC copy of Final Fantasy 7. So that was there as well. So he said, well, you can have these ones for £2. So I ended up kind of saying, okay, I'll take this Xbox One games and this little PlayStation 1 pile and the PC game for £20. So set them aside, and then we moved on to PlayStation stuff. So went through everything, and ultimately what I'm showing you here is speaking actually, sorry, I'll go back to Xbox One games real quick. So these 3 here are doubles. Assassin's Creed Unity, Doom, and Call of Duty World of War 2. These are doubles, so I got these in my collection. All rest of these games, these would be kind of a brand new addition to my collection. I'm debating to keep all of them at the moment, but I will need to trade maybe 1 or 2 to cover the costs of this trade. But I think I'll be fine as it is. So, but I'll talk about that in a second. So PlayStation 2 games. So 59 tiles complete. These ones on the left pile, the taller pile, these are actually all the games I do not have in my collection. So You can kind of quickly have a look here. I'll slowly pan through. So these are all the titles I'm adding to my collection, so these are all keepers for me. Some of these are kind of maybe already the ones I did have in my collection, but at different editions. For example, Kingdom Hearts games. So you can see here I got Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2. I actually had both games in Platinum variant, which ultimately I'm collecting as a subset, but I did not have the main releases of Kingdom Hearts, so I'm adding these to my collection. So yeah, these are all keepers. And then this shorter pile, these are ultimately all the games that actually I did have. There's obviously, you can see there's one missing artwork, and there's on top one as well in a wrong case, a missing artwork. But these are all doubles which I did have in my collection, so these ultimately will be available. Not all of them maybe, but most of them will be available for trade. So yeah, so now as far as PlayStation 2 stuff is concerned, I asked him so what actually he wants, you know, for these games, and you know, taking in consideration that there's some missing manuals, some are a bit scratched, so he agreed to sell them for £25. So I was kind of happy. 59 games, 59 games. I didn't know at the time which ones I do have, which ones I don't, but 59 games for £25. I thought, yeah, fair enough. Okay, I said, yeah, that's fine. So at this point, I'm looking at all the PlayStation 2 games, all the PS1 games, all the Xbox One games, and we are totaling at £45. So then I moved on to all the PlayStation 3 stuff, checked all that one out, checked all the 360 stuff. There's a couple OG games, Xbox OG games, and ultimately a couple PlayStation 2 games. Now, I think he came up with a price, something like said, I'll do everything for like £22. And I said, well, will you take 20? And he says, yeah, fine, I'll take 20. So for the rest of the stuff, PS3 stuff, a few PlayStation 4 and all the Xbox OG and 360 games, it was £20. So that all tallied up to £65. So now keep in mind that originally he was asking or wanting to charge £50 only for the PlayStation 2 games. So yeah, so we went suddenly from having PlayStation 2 games for 50 to having everything here for £65, so extra £15. So yeah, that was kind of insane, guys, absolutely insane. So but that's not end of it. So as far as PlayStation 3 stuff is concerned, so let's actually cover a little bit things off here. Now, both PlayStation 4 games, I do have these in my collection, so these going straight away for the trade. That's about 20 quid. I should be able to get there. I think for these 3 games here, I think it's about 25 quid I should be able to get. So that gives me already 45 quid back. So I need to actually recoup another £15. And that's ultimately will be, everything will be paid here. So yeah, I think from all these excess games I have here in PlayStation 2, I should be able to, you know, get some money back. And there's also ultimately PlayStation 3 stuff as well, which is stuff I already got. So PlayStation 3 on the left here, so these are all the games that I'm adding to my collection. So these are basically brand new additions to my collection, and all these on the right here pile, these are all doubles, so these are going to go for trade. And again, I should be able to get a few quid for this stuff. And then as far as this Xbox OG and 360 stuff is concerned, so I actually picked up Spider-Man recently, Ultimate Spider-Man, so this is a double. I think this sells about 8 quid or so, so another one good for trade. Now these two are brand new additions, so I got Tom Clancy's Splinter Cell Classics, but I think I might actually have this already in one of the piles I haven't covered yet, so this might actually be a double. But Need for Speed Most Wanted, so that's a brand new addition to my Xbox OG collection. Then empty case, Saints Row 2 empty case. These two here are doubles, so Prince of Persia, I think this was like 2009 game, and Aliens versus Predator, so these are 2 doubles. And then these are a brand new addition, so 5 games. These are brand new additions that goes into my collection. So we got Bulletstorm, Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns, Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13 2, and Dead Space 3. So here we go. So that's all the games. So, and that's it. So, so really pleased with this pile, but what happened then is, so £65 in total the guy wanted, and I had 50 quid on me, so which meant I had to go and lift a bit more money. And I said to the guy, I said, I'll go and lift some money, so it's probably, you know, I'll take out 20 quid, and ultimately will be, you know, either £20 note or 2 tenors. And I said, you know, do you have 5 quid on you as a change? So he kind of rustled about in the house and couldn't find any change, and he came back and said, listen, I don't have any change, but you know what, to make it life easier, he says, let's just call it 60 quid. So he knocked actually at the end another £5 off, so I paid 60 quid for everything here, as I just shown you. So keeping in mind that he originally wanted 50 quid just for the PlayStation 2 games, so for the extra £10 I managed to get all the PlayStation 3 games, all the Xbox One games, Xbox 360, some also original PlayStation, PS1. Yeah, so it's absolutely crazy, you know, it's absolutely crazy what I managed to get for that money, for 60 quid. Yeah, that was fantastic deal. So there you have it, guys. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and ultimately stay tuned, there's more stuff to come soon. But I'm away now to sort everything out and put everything in their rightful places. So yeah, fun night ahead. Okay, bye now.